7 p.m. and ask our clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Blair,
Present.
Trustee Kagan,
Present.
Trustee Annalise,
Present.
Trustee Krusek,
Present.
Trustee Page,
Present.
Trustee Martinez,
Present.
Mayor Cunningham.
Present.
Quorum established.
Thank you, everyone, for being here this evening, and we do welcome everyone. And if you would please join us in a moment of silence and then the Pledge of Allegiance, which we are going to ask our wonderful Executive Assistant Leslie Davies and her family and friends that are here this evening to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. We do have several recognition items this evening, and again, we would like to, one, ask our village administrator to present our service anniversary of our 20-year executive assistant at the Village of Woodridge, Leslie Davies. And Leslie, if you would please maybe come up to the podium.
Thank you, Mayor Cunningham, members of the board. Good evening. It is my distinct pleasure tonight to recognize Ms. Leslie Davies Strombeck, Executive Assistant to the Mayor Cunningham and to the Village Administrator, for her 20 years of distinguished village service in Woodridge. She's joined tonight by her lovely daughter, Alyssa. Alyssa, give a little wave there. And her future son-in-law, Scott, who's also here tonight, and some fans as well from our organization. I think are in they've got the expensive seats there in the back. Very nice. Welcome them. A little bit about Leslie. Hired back in 2004, Leslie continues to be an integral and highly valued member of our organization in so many respects. For starters, in her role as executive assistant, she is the key right-hand person in providing administrative support to Mayor Cunningham as our community's chief executive officer. When you're the assistant to the mayor, your job is invariably going to be one of high touch, high visibility, involving frequent interactions and communications with elected officials and appointed officials, community leaders, and of course, our residents and businesses. Leslie's professionalism, her work ethic, and integrity make her a tremendous representative and really an important ambassador of our village. A key aspect of Leslie's role involves supporting and coordinating various community outreach events and programs over the years. Many of them are some of our most hallowed programs, really. Community Recognition Program, the annual State of the Village, Prologis Scholarship applications, post-election inauguration ceremonies, community open house, town meeting, mayor and board coffees, and the list goes on. And in fact, the Community Recognition Program, she's been so amazing at administering that program over the years that we finally awarded her the Community Recognition Award for her being our top employee of the year in 2023. And if you see up on the screen there, you're seeing a wonderful, delightful picture of Leslie and her daughter, Alyssa, holding very proudly that award. In her spare time, she provides support to the Board of Trustees in helping coordinate the various business that the village conducts, solicitor's permits, peddler's permits, raffle license applications, etc. Dunkin' Donuts has a great slogan, America runs on Dunkin'. And to me, the village runs on Leslie. So many things flow through her in one way or another. She's a critical hub, a vital linkage that connects our organization in a way that, simply put, helps us get things done and get things done very well. There's no question Leslie's contribution to our village truly does make a difference in the lives of our community members, as well as her coworkers at the village. She very much embodies the very best of who we are as an organization and as a village. Her dedication and pride shine through in all that she does, and her professionalism and her dedication to our community's success make her a valued member of our village team. Leslie, on behalf of Mayor Cunningham and the Board of Trustees, it is my distinct pleasure to recognize and extend our most sincere appreciation for your 20 years of exemplary service to the Village of Woodridge And Mayor Cunningham, before I conclude, I think you would like to say a few remarks.
Yes, thank you very much, Alan. Excellent, Al. The words that come to mind are really everything Al said, but also just incredible. You are amazing to work with. You always root for everyone. You always help everyone without even asking the person. You just say, let me help you with that. So I know I speak on behalf of everyone that we just enjoy working with you. You're a treasure and beyond to your family, your friends, and to everyone here at the village, every person that interacts with the village. You are beyond. Your talents are incredible. Everything we ever do is always stepped up by you putting your hand in there. So we use the word zhuzh. We're going to zhuzh things up, but we take it beyond that because of you and your care for our community and for all of the colleagues that you work with, and then for all of us as well. We cannot thank you enough for everything you do and always go above and beyond, and you shine way beyond, along with the very talented other colleagues here at the village. And I just have to tell you that kindness beyond, dedication beyond, but also that you are a friend to everyone and you represent all of us so greatly. We cannot thank you enough, and congratulations. And here's to another 20 years. So.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to say it has been, and I told Peggy this when she congratulated me the first time. It has truly been a pleasure for me and an honor to be here for 20 years. And I hope that I'm here for the rest of my working days with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well,
Gotta get you a balloon, of
Well,
course.
thank you.
Sure,
Of
sure, of
course.
course.
Thank you so much. Yes,
Sure,
please.
you want me to take your balloon or you want your balloon?
I'll get you guys. Perfect. Nope, you guys are perfect. Ready, hold your pose. Okay.
And special congratulations to Alyssa and Scott. Thank you for being here this evening, and congratulations on your upcoming wedding. And now we do have a proclamation for Arbor Day, which is April 26, 2024. And Trustee Kagan, if you would, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderating the temperature, cleaning the air, producing oxygen, and providing a habitat for wildlife. And trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And trees in our village increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of the business areas, and beautify our community. And trees are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas the Village of Woodridge is proud to proclaim that this is the 33rd year that the village is being recognized as Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation, and plans to continue its tree planting ways. Now therefore, Gina Cunningham, Mayor of the Village of Woodridge, DuPage, Will, and Cook Counties, Illinois, do hereby proclaim Friday, April 26th, 2024 as Arbor Day in the Village of Woodridge, and urge all residents to value and care for their trees. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we'll move to comments from the public this evening. We're going to pause to acknowledge any written public comments that have been received prior to the meeting that do not relate to tonight's agenda. And if we've received those, we would enter them into the public record. Administrator Stonich?
Thank you, Mayor Cunningham. We do have one item from Ms. Ahmedi that I'll add to the record, and board members have been provided copies prior to the meeting. And that is the only one with respect to agendas not on the agenda tonight.
Thank you very much. I'm going to ask if there's any members of our public here this evening that would like to please make a comment on items that are not related to the this evening's agenda. If so, we'd ask that you please come up to the podium. Okay, seeing no one, we'll go ahead and move that to comments that are related to the agenda this evening. Going to pause again to acknowledge any written public comments that have been received prior to our meeting that do appear on tonight's agenda. And if so, those would be entered into the public record. Administrator Stonich?
Thank you, Mayor. First item is from Ellie DeCool, and this is a comment regarding the proposed McDonald's development. Next is from Gary Bielo and Linda Chan, also in reference to the McDonald's proposed project. And finally, Tina Pfeiffer, also regarding the proposed McDonald's development. The board members has received copies of all these, Mayor, and they will be entered into the record.
Thank you very much. Now I'm going to ask our audience members if anyone would like to make a comment on items that do appear on tonight's agenda. If so, we would invite you to the podium. Okay, seeing no one, we will go ahead and move on to tonight's omnibus agenda. So this evening, going to ask for a motion to please approve items A through F and acceptance of items G through K. A motion, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Page. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Martinez. Any discussion or any items to need to be considered separately this evening? Okay, seeing none, going to ask that our village clerk please review the items on the omnibus for us.
Thank you, Mayor Cunningham, members of the board. Good evening. Item A, ordinance 2024-26. It's an ordinance amending Title III, Section 3-3-10 of the Village Code, Liquor Control, number of licenses. This would be specifically adding a Class E1 license for the new business Pickled in the Centerpoint Shopping Center. Item B, Resolution 2024-19, a resolution authorizing the mayor and village administrator to execute a certain agreement for grant funding between the Village of Woodridge and the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity for a stream bank stabilization project. Item C, Ordinance 2024-27 is an ordinance authorizing the disposal of personal property owned by the Village of Woodridge. Item D, Resolution 2024-20, approval of a resolution of a one-year extension of the street sweeping and disposal services agreement, bid number 2020-04, with Lakeshore Recycling Systems out of Morton Grove. Item E, Resolution 2024-21, a resolution rejecting proposals, waiving the request for proposal process, and authorizing the village administrator to enter into a contract, with Rubino Engineering, Inc. for 2024 construction material testing services. Item F, Resolution 2024-24, is a resolution for the mayor and board of trustees to approve the police department's community room public use policy. And then items G through K are meeting minutes from prior meetings. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And if our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Kagan,
Aye.
Trustee Annalise,
Aye.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much, everyone. Under the mayor's report generally can be found on portions of our e-news, and we will be having many items coming forward. So I don't want to say too much because a lot of them are very exciting, but please do look to e-news for all of the upcoming events that we will be hosting as a village, including our dedication of our police and public works campus, as well as some wonderful Jubilee and 4th of July celebrations coming forward here in the very near future. So please do stay connected to the Village of Woodridge. And if our administrator would now, we will turn to your report, please.
Thank you, Mayor. First item A, ordinance 2024-28. It's an ordinance amending the village code of the Village of Woodridge, Title 7, Chapter 5, Article D, Water and Sewer Regulations, Fees, Rates, and Charges, Section 7-5D-2B1. Effective with all usage billed on or after May 1st, 2024, water rates will increase by 19 cents as a result of a rate increase from the DePage Water Commission. The village's new rate will be $9.04 per 1,000 gallons, of which 9 cents was reflected in the FY 2024 budget.
Thank you very much. If I could please have a motion to approve ordinance 2024-28, please. Thank you, trustee Kagan. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, trustee Blair. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Annalise?
Aye.
Trustee Krusek?
Aye.
Trustee Page?
No.
Trustee Martinez?
Yep, aye.
Trustee Blair?
Aye.
Trustee Kagan?
No.
Motion carries.
Item B, ordinance 2024-29, an ordinance amending the annual budget for the Village of Woodridge for the fiscal year commencing January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023.
Going to ask please for a motion to approve ordinance 2024-29, please.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Krusek. And a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Page. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, if our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Krusek? Aye. Trustee Page?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Blair?
Aye.
Trustee Kagan?
Aye.
Trustee Annalise?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item C, resolution 2024-22 is a resolution authorizing the mayor and village clerk to execute a certain extension to an agreement for refuse, recycling, and landscape waste scavenger services between the Village of Woodridge and Groot for a period of 3 months from June 1st to 2024 to August 31st, 2024. The rates will remain flat. The purpose of this extension is to facilitate the transition to the new program, which will be the next item D. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Going to ask please for a motion to approve resolution 2024-22.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Antilles. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, trustee Blair. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Page?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Blair?
Aye.
Trustee Kagan?
Aye.
Trustee Annalise?
Aye.
Trustee Krusek? Aye. Motion carries.
Next item D, resolution 2024-23. It's a resolution authorizing the approval of an agreement for refuse and recycling and landscape waste scavenger services with Groot Inc. This is a authorization for a 5-year contract renewal, which would commence on September 1st, 2024 and run through August 31st, 2029. In addition, the contract contains 5 additional 1-year renewal options, with the first 3 renewals being at the sole discretion of the village. Assistant to the Village Administrator, Andy Trucco, is here to provide a brief summary of the agenda item and the new program. Thank you.
Good evening.
Evening.
So I'm just going to go over this new program with you all tonight. This is the timeline that we've seen over the course of the last year. Now we are in April, which is the second to last item. This is board approval of the final contract. The last item, September 2024, is actually the execution of the transition into the new program. So it's the communication plan and it's staff working with group. So here are some highlights of the new program. It's an unlimited refuse, recycling, and yard waste program, no stickers. So if there's any additional refuse or even landscape waste, so your grass clippings, there's no longer a need for stickers beginning September 1st. Another new element of this contract is that 15% senior discount. This was a popular item in our survey and was also popular amongst the board. In orange here is cleanup week in October. That remains the same as it's been in our contract for many years. It's a very, very popular element of our current contract, and it's very important to our community. So it's something that we did keep in this new contract. The next item, 6 weeks of leaf collection, November and December. In the past, it's been 4 weeks. Again, we heard from our community and they requested an additional couple of weeks. So that's what we put into our RFP. So that is what Group is providing to us in this new contract. Again, in orange, Christmas tree recycling in January. This is another element of our current contract that the community does prefer. So we're keeping that in the contract as well. And then a new component is the optional composting program, which I'm going to get into that in the next slide.
If I could, Andy,
Yes.
could you just go back really quick for a moment? The cleanup week in October, what was that formerly known as?
Amnesty Day.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
That
So
we should
many
clarify.
people still call it Amnesty Day. So
Thank you.
yes. So here is the program pricing for years 1 through 5. Also some special collections at the bottom there. If you're looking at years 1 through 5, those prices just reflect the regular rate. If you're going to add in that 15% discount for that 33-gallon cost, you're looking at about $16.74 per month for seniors. Moving down to the bottom there, bulk rate items. Through this contract, one free bulk rate item will be provided per week. In the current contract, bulk rate items are 3 stickers, which sticker prices are $4, so that amounts to $12 per bulk rate item. Per bulk item. So getting one per free is a significant cost savings to our residents. Compost. So this will be a $60 per season optional program. If a resident is interested in composting, they would reach out to Groot. The $60 per season is April 1st through December 15th. They would receive a Groot-owned cart that is for composting, and then it would be returned back to Groot. Groot would collect it at the end of the landscape waste season in December. And then if they want to continue on that program, they would enter into an agreement with Groot. So this is the community waste hauler survey comparison that we've seen in the past. Woodridge is in green here. Now, this is not an apples to apples comparison. If you really look into the different columns, some of these lower priced options, they still include yard waste stickers. They don't necessarily do free leaf collection. Also, the low end of our pricing for that smallest container is very competitive. It would be closer up to where Clarendon Hills is. So when you're really looking at it and you're kind of evaluating the different costs associated with yard waste stickers and free leaf collection and the senior discount, it's a very competitive pricing for an unlimited program. Comparing the program pricing to the current pricing. So the chart on the left is the monthly pricing. If a resident owns the $75 group cart, that pricing would be reduced by $350 a month. But if, as you can see, especially looking at the 33-gallon, there's a significant cost savings that current flat rate customers will be seeing with this new contract. And again, you could see in the bottom there, that senior price is going to start at $16.74 per month. The annual pricing chart, this is based on one sticker used per week with an annual cost based on 6 landscape stickers a year and 1 bulk item per year. So if you look at the cost for that 33-gallon, it's about equal to the cost for sticker customers, but it's significantly less expensive for flat rate customers. Flat rate customers represent just under half of the community. So that's a large chunk of the community that's going to see a significant cost savings without having to make any changes. In fact, they're actually going to get more. So they'll get unlimited landscape waste. They're going to get 1 bulk item, which really does add up if you're thinking about $12 a week. And then again, the senior price is right around $200, which is less than the current price for stickers in this program. So seniors will be seeing a great cost saving as well. Does anyone have any questions?
Madam Mayor? Oh, I'm sorry,
Please.
go ahead. Trustee Blair, go ahead.
Trustee Blair?
I just, can you
Sure.
just review again, if they currently have either a waste management or a Groot tote,
Sure.
can they continue to use those?
So
And if not, what is going to be what is the cost to purchase? I missed that.
there is not a purchase option. So how the program is going to be is the cost of the carts is built into that monthly price. So everyone is going to receive the size cart that they select. Now, recycling carts are going to come in a 64-gallon size no matter what. But then there's going to be the 3 sizes you could choose for refuse. That's built into the cost, similar to how it is in the monthly pricing right now if you don't own. So if you do currently own, you can either keep your current cart, you're not going to be using it for the program unless you have additional garbage. So the primary use is going to be the issued garbage can through this contract and the issued recycling container. But if you do have overage, you can use existing containers you have. Now, if you don't want to use it for that, if you want to use your existing containers, or for whatever you have going on around your house, you can keep it. If you want to recycle it back to Groot, you're more than welcome to do that too. But those carts can no longer be your primary cart.
Okay, and if the flat rate, I
Mhm.
just want to be real clear on this. So let's say you have the 64-gallon or the 33-gallon. That flat rate, if you have the 33-gallon, you can still put the excess out. You don't have to have the biggest container.
That's correct.
Want to be real
Mhm.
clear on that.
Thank you. Trustee
Madam
Griswold?
Mayor,
For the composting, since the new program will be starting September 1st, are they going to prorate it for anybody that wants to do it for the rest of the year?
So Josh Molnar is here from Group. That is not a question that we asked.
That's what I did.
Good evening, sir. Welcome.
Good evening, Josh Molnar with Groot. Evening, Josh Molnar with Groot. Good to be here. That's actually a question I haven't received yet. But I mean, I'm willing to consider that. I typically, when we roll these out, participation on that, especially on the initial rollout, is usually fairly small. Kind of like all this that will be coming for the first time with the transition. I'm willing to work that out with Andy and staff on how we want to best take care of that. So I would imagine there'd be a handful at least that may be interested. We'd be willing to consider that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's a very good question because we do have a neighborhood in Woodridge that is composting, that actually takes their compost elsewhere, out of Woodridge. So I think that this might be a great, and I do have the neighbors' names, that we could maybe reach out to them directly and ask, you know, what the interest is and all of that, and see what they might be also interested in. Because this is a great program for many people, but it's new. And I guess I have a question, maybe Josh, you and Andy could answer. There's a lot of changes. These are excellent, and thank you for the presentation and all the information. This is a lot of information that we're sharing with our neighbors. What about education, and how are we going to reach out to our neighbors, and then pick what they would like? And what if it doesn't, you know, that's not the right size, you find out, and how easy is it to switch? I mean, I know I've done that personally, so I know it actually is pretty easy, but I want to be sure that our neighbors have as much lead time and to make the best decisions possible and have a chance, if they've done something, like they could easily switch back or make a different change.
Yeah, so the first thing is we're going to have all three sizes on display in our lobby. So we'll communicate that to the community, letting them know if you'd like to see the sizes in person to make a better selection. So that'll be the first step. When it comes to changing out, there is language in the contract that does allow, I believe they have a month with the sizes that they have, and then they can trade it out at no cost by contacting Groot if it's too big, if it's too small, whatever the case may be. Was there another question you had?
Education, so we'll
Yeah.
be sending.
So, yeah, so we'll start off with, we're going to be doing both electronic communication and mail communication. One of the things that we do every year is the group brochure. That brochure will sort of hone in on the new program. So instead of sending it out with, you know, what we do every year, which is the increases in pricing each year, this will be the whole new program, commonly asked questions, how you can choose your size, different things that the community might have. It's also going to be posted on our website, but then we'll also do e-news, maybe even a special e-news just dedicated to this. We're going to be working closely together when it comes to getting lists of addresses so Group can do direct mailings to different residents. The nice thing is, you know, with just under half of our community being on the flat rate program, they already have a subscription service with Groot. So it'll be a little bit easier to transition those people. It's going to be the remaining people on the sticker program. But again, we're going to do a lot of different forms of communication. It'll be mail, it'll be email, electronic, similar to how we did the survey to better capture the entire community.
Thank you, and thank you very much. I know this is an enormous undertaking on behalf of our community, and it is a wonderful program. So thank you very much for all the hard work. Appreciate it.
Madam Mayor?
Thank you.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, please, yes.
I probably asked you the same question a month ago or so when you made the presentation, but I'll ask you again. So basically, we cannot use any of our existing containers if they're not Groots.
Not as your primary container. So you'll have to use the one that's issued. But if you fill that and you have another secondary container, you could use that.
Okay. It's a bit confusing, but I understand. So the second question is, obviously I will need two containers, one for recycling and one for regular garbage, right?
Correct.
So how do you differentiate recycling from regular garbage?
One, they are different sizes, unless I guess you get the 65, but second, it'll have a different color lid and we'll also have, it'll have a different color lid than the garbage. Garbage has a black lid and the recycle will have a cream lid. So the
I want the smallest you got because
smallest trash or recycle.
both,
Recycle is going to be 65 across, 64 gallon across the board. The trash is where you have the choice between the 95, 65, 35.
65 gallon.
A 65 gallon recycle cart, correct?
I should have voted no.
I mean, our goal is, a lot of our communities are moving to 95 gallons. Some of them are moving to 95 gallons, but at least 65. We wanted to really try to incentivize participation in recycling. And what we found in a lot of our communities, the more we increase that capacity, the more they're likely they are to participate. Most of them are boxes. Some people don't break them down, so that fills up fast. So the more capacity, usually the higher participation we see.
And I think in addition, sometimes people don't put that out every week. If it's just the recycling. Just saying, you know, I mean, I have neighbors and I know they're not always putting it out. I see them.
Yeah, but 95 gallons is a big,
It's six, isn't it?
65 gallon for the recycle. 65 gallon. Mhm.
Trustee Blair, yes. Are you done, Trustee Martinez? I'm sorry.
I just have one more question. I love that we have the senior discount program. How are our seniors going to apply for that? Do they have to do it online? How is that going to take place?
So we were actually talking about that today, trying to figure out how to work that out. We're still exploring that. I know Josh has another meeting with his staff tomorrow, but typically they would call in, there'd be some proof of identification for 65 and older. We did offer, if they want to come to Village Hall, we can collect IDs and work with Groot on that, saying we could verify that we did check their ID. They are in fact 65 and older. So we want to make it as easy as possible, especially for our seniors. You know, some don't necessarily use the internet. It's probably easier to come someplace that they're familiar with. So we're more than happy to welcome them to Village Hall and check their IDs for them and then communicate with Groot.
And it will be extended to the people that are already on the program.
Correct.
Madam Mayor, one other question. Hopefully, the education program will let people know and with enough time so that they aren't stocking up on stickers. I know I talked to our village administrator briefly about this. But what happens with the occasional customer that is going to have 2 sheets of stickers on September 1st?
So there is a clause in the contract that allows them 60 days to get a refund from Groot. So 60 days from September 1st, if they still have stickers, they could contact Groot at the customer service line and make arrangements for refunds.
Anyone else?
one more question, I'm sorry.
Please, Trustee Martinez?
So the senior price for a 33 gallon is $16.74. How about the 65 gallon?
I would have to do the math really quick, but I could do that for you.
Oh, it's a percentage?
It's still 15% off of all.
Anyone else? Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here. Andy, thank you again.
You're welcome.
So we do have before us Resolution 2024-23. Going to ask for a motion to approve the resolution.
So
So-
moved.
Was it Trustee Kagan and Trustee Page?
Yes.
Thank you very much. So we have a first and a second. Any discussion on this item or further discussion? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Martinez,
Nay.
trustee Blair,
Aye.
trustee Kagan,
Aye.
trustee Annalise,
Aye.
trustee Krusek,
Aye.
trustee Page.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. So on the next items, and actually I'm going to make a comment here, but we do have before us agenda items E, F, and G, which all relate to the proposed McDonald's development. And before we look at those 3 items as an omnibus, and that's going to be the request, I do want to make a statement because I think that some of our neighbors, some maybe are at home tonight or those who have joined us in the past, I know I wanted to just take a moment to acknowledge some of the communications that we have been receiving with regards to the Dunham Road or near that area for the proposed McDonald's development at Woodgrove, 75th and Dunham. And specifically, some neighbors have expressed frustration about the continuance of these agenda items and wanting to better understand the reasons for continuing these items. And just for background purposes, the continuances have been requested by the developer so that they may complete their updated traffic study and report to the village board, which directly related to questions our neighbors were bringing forward on these items. And some may recall that the initial public meeting, there were several traffic engineers and the questions posed by board members and our neighbors with regards to the McDonald's site plan. The developer, in conjunction with finalizing the updated traffic study, is also completing additional traffic engineering analysis in order to thoroughly respond to the board's questions as well as our neighbors' questions and concerns, both the board and our neighbors' questions and concerns. We understand that this is an important matter to our neighbors and the board, and we do appreciate everyone's patience and understanding in this process. We will certainly look to keep everyone informed as to when this matter will be ready to come back before the board for final consideration. So I felt it was important that we share that we are waiting. We're waiting for information that has been requested by our neighbors as well as village board members. So as we look at items E, F, and G, which all relate to the proposed McDonald's development at Dunham and 75th Street in the Woodgrove Shopping Center, the applicant has requested that this pending matter be continued to a future meeting. And the process is that we have to, at each meeting, bring these items forward. Attorney Pat, am I correct? Okay, so I'm going to therefore ask for an omnibus motion to continue agenda items E, F, and G to our May 2nd, 2024 meeting, which is our next village board meeting.
So
I'd like
moved.
to ask for a motion. Thank you, Trustee Blair. And a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Martinez. Any further questions or comments at this time? Seeing none, going to ask our clerk, please, to call the roll.
Trustee Kagan? Trustee Annalise?
Aye.
Trustee Krusek? Aye. Trustee Page?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Blair?
Aye.
As we-
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. As we do have these items before us, I'm going to ask our administrator just to review them, just so everyone knows what these actual items are. So items E, F, and G, please.
All right. So first item E, a resolution authorizing the mayor and village clerk to execute a certain traffic regulation agreement between the Village of Woodridge and Nair Woodridge Management LLC at 1335 75th Street. That's the McDonald's proposal. Related item F, resolution 2024-5, resolution authorizing the mayor and clerk to execute a certain improvement agreement between the Village of Woodridge and Nair Woodridge Management LLC, 1335 75th Street. And this is the proposed McDonald's. And lastly, item G, ordinance 2024-3, an ordinance granting a major amendment to an approved final plan and plat of planned unit development, including certain exceptions, a special use for a drive-through and a final plat of subdivision for Woodgrove Festival at McDonald's. And the applicant is North American Real Estate, 1335 West 75th Street.
Thank you very much, Administrator Stonich. As we do not have any further active agenda items or unfinished or new business to come before the board, we're going to move to adjournment. But with no further business to discuss, we do have the need to convene into executive session immediately following our adjournment. The purpose of the executive session is to review and discuss pending, probable, imminent litigation. So I'm going to ask, please, for a motion to adjourn the regular meeting of the village board. A motion, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Krusek. And a second?
Second.
Thank you very much, Trustee Martinez. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries. The time is 7:40 p.m. We thank everyone for being here this evening. Take good care. Good night.